What is happening, everybody? Welcome to today's video. And in today's video, I'm going to talk to you guys about 5 ways that you can reduce calories within your diet without having to over-restrict, which is like happiness, right? We don't want to be on these miserable, over-restrictive diets where we kind of feel terrible all the time. So I'm going to give you 5 easy tips you can implement which are going to help you reduce that from being a problem. Okay, tip number 1 is to reduce the amount of sauces that you're consuming with your meals. And that doesn't mean you have to have bland, flavourless food. It just means think of other ways, using more spices and things like that, and how you kind of marinate food in spices as a way of creating that flavour. And how you can add other things in, like lemons and just different ways that you can kind of create natural flavouring without adding too many sauces. The problem is with certain things which we maybe don't realise, sauces have a heck of a lot of calories in them. Take, for example, you're making yourself a nice salad. Let's just say you're doing a nice chicken salad. You're deciding to be healthy. You're in that kind of diet mindset. And then you go and get a Caesar salad dressing and you smother that salad in that Caesar salad dressing. There could easily be 100 or more calories in that salad dressing because of what it's made out of and what the contents are. But you don't necessarily realise that, and maybe you don't account for that in your day's calories because you just think, I had a nice chicken salad, but it was maybe a little bit bland, so I added a little bit of flavour to it. So what you could do in that scenario is just add a couple more spices and stuff on top of the chicken to give the chicken a bit more flavour, and then that overall flavour of the salad. Or squeeze some lemon juice on the salad, or just look at the salad dressing you're buying and try and get something that's a little lower in calories. Maybe something that's made out of like balsamic vinegar and lemon, or I don't know, but just some way that you can kind of reduce those calories through things like sauces. If you are a real sauce person and you smother things in sauces, then maybe have a look at the bottles, have a look at the calorie contents, have a think about how much you're using, and you could easily be consuming a good few hundred calories a day extra that you're not even accounting for. Tip number 2, don't drink your calories. Now, one major mistake that people make is they consume high calorie drinks. Again, maybe without even necessarily realising that these drinks have a lot of calories in them. And the problem is, a lot of the time they don't have much of an impact on your appetite. So you might just consume that drink because you like the taste of it, or even just because you're a bit thirsty or whatever it may be, but it's not necessarily stopping you from consuming that next meal or that next thing. So what it's doing is it's just adding unnecessary calories into your day. Some examples might be full fat fizzy drinks, okay? A can of Diet Coke, a can of lemonade, or whatever it may be, but full fat fizzy drinks. Fruit juices, again, although there may be an argument that that some of them contain fruit and may be good for you. Again, they're still going to have calories in them, sometimes unnecessary calories that you need to be consuming. Alcohol, obviously another major one where there's, if you're a big drinker and you drink quite a high volume of alcohol throughout the week, there could be a lot of calories that you're consuming there without even realising. Things like coffees, okay, not necessarily a standard Americano, or even a flat white or something like that, but a flat white is still 100 and something calories, and if you're drinking 2-3 of them a day, you're doing 200-300 calories or so just in coffees. But then if you're more extravagant and you go more for your frappuccinos, or you're adding your syrups in there, or you're going for your frostinos, or whatever they may be, wherever you're going, some of those things can be up to like 500 calories. That's like a whole meal. And particularly for most females that are trying to lose weight or maintain a weight that they're happy with, that's going to be potentially a third of your day's calories on a drink that you're not even intending on being a meal. So you're just having that because you feel like having it. Now, that doesn't mean you can't have those things, but it just means be more aware of it. Maybe don't have one every day. Maybe treat yourself to one every now and again, and just be aware of how many calories are in there and that you can account for those calories on those days. Tip number 3 is to reduce your carbohydrate intake and replace it with salad or vegetables. Now, I'm not saying eliminate carbs, I'm not saying go on a low carb diet or a zero carb diet. It's just sometimes what I tend to see with clients is that if someone's kind of being a bit over generous with their portion sizes at meal times, it's never normally the salad or the vegetables that they're overloading the plate with. It's normally the potatoes, the rice, the pasta. It's normally those things which are the bulk of these people's plates when they're kind of being a bit too over generous with how much food they're giving themselves. So instead, maybe half that portion at each meal, half that portion of potatoes you were going to have, and have a bigger serving of salad or vegetables. Or maybe even work your day a bit more like you're cycling the carbs throughout the day. Maybe don't have any carbs at breakfast time. Maybe you have a small amount with your lunch and a bigger salad, and then you have some carbs in the evening time with some vegetables. Or maybe you have some carbs at breakfast time, like a bowl of porridge and whatever else. At lunchtime you have a big salad, so no carbohydrates for that meal. And in the evening times, maybe again you have a bit of potato or something like that with your dinner. But maybe one good way for you to reduce calories, if you know you have a bit of a problem with portion control, is to reduce the amount of carbohydrates you're having and increase the amount of salad or vegetables that you're having. Tip number 4 is don't inhale your food. Now, what I mean by that is don't, people that tend to eat a lot quicker tend to eat a lot more. So people that tend to take their time when they're eating, chew more, tend to get full as they're eating and tend to just generally eat a lot less. They tend to eat a lot less portion sizes, they're less likely to go and get a second serving, because what's happening is when you slow that down, the digestion process is taking place and you're starting to get full. People that kind of inhale that aren't giving their body that kind of time to catch up, and then you're more likely to go up for seconds rather than letting what you've got on the plate satisfy you. So slow down, take your time, chew each mouthful, be a bit more mindful of what you're doing when you're eating. And maybe a good little tip is to take a mouthful, put your knife and fork down, focus on chewing that current mouthful and just slow the whole process down. Or maybe don't eat your food in front of the TV. Sometimes when you're eating food in front of the TV, you tend to then just kind of wolf it down and you're not focusing on what you're doing. You're just watching TV and spooning in mouthful after mouthful. But if you take that TV away and just focus a little bit more on what you're doing in terms of your food, and then you'll probably start to realize and recognize when you're starting to feel full, and then you can kind of be like, right, no, I'm done. Slow down, don't eat so fast. And tip number 5, eat at home more. Now, what do I mean by that? Sometimes if you're somebody that tends to eat out a lot, you can't necessarily control how they're cooking your food. Again, you could easily go out and you could decide, I'm going to be good on my diet today, I'm going for lunch with my friends, but I'm going to be good. I'm going to go and order the chicken salad. But you don't know how much oil they've used to cook that food. You don't know how many calories are necessarily in that dressing that they've put all over your salad. So sometimes what you presume might be a 300, 400 calorie salad could easily be a 600, 700, 800 calorie salad, because you have no idea what they're putting inside that food. You have no idea how much oils they're using to cook things with. You can't portion control that and you can't figure it out. Whereas when you cook at home, you are in complete control. You know if you've used the low-fat cooking spray or half a cup of olive oil. You know how many calories, what the ingredients are inside that salad dressing that you're putting on there. You know more about what's happening when you're cooking at home. So tip number 5 is to just try to cook at home more, eat at home more, rather than always eating out. If you're somebody that grabs lunch on the go every day, or you're eating out all the time, then maybe that could be a major reason why you're struggling to lose or maintain weight that you are happy with, because you're not able to accurately calculate exactly how many calories a day you're consuming. Maybe you think you're only consuming 2,000, but actually because you're eating out so much, you're consuming 2,500 a day. The other bonus about that is it's probably going to save you money. So there you have it, guys. 5 ways that you can reduce calories without necessarily being ridiculously over-restrictive with your diet, without saying you can't eat chocolate, you can't eat carbohydrates, you have to give up alcohol, without putting these real rigid restrictions in place. There's just some things there that you might currently be doing without realizing that you can start implementing from today, which are going to help you reduce calories. Thanks for watching, guys, and if you found this video useful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, write a comment down below if you have any questions, or if you want to share any of your experiences or any tips that you found useful, comment below and I will get back to you. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next one.